Hello and welcome to World Tanks from each other, and as you'll be able to just about hear, I would imagine, I sound a little off today because I've got a bit of a croaky voice. I am inhaling water at the moment to be able to do this video because I think you all deserve to know the abilities and what it's like to play this tank. Now bear in mind, I want to say a couple of things to start. First of all, I am playing this without a particularly good crew. It's 100% crew, but there's no perks on it. So bear that in mind, but realistically the reason you'd only want this is realistically as a crew trainer. And the other thing is that this is a lone tank. I have not paid for this, and as much as I know a lot of people seem to think, oh, that means that you're going to be more biased, then you're going to be quite nice about it because you haven't had to pay for it, and Big Popper Wargaming's helped you out. But you also have to bear in mind, I haven't paid for it, so therefore I don't need to justify it to myself as to why it was worth the money. Whereas any tank I've had to buy myself, I've had to go, if I say this is crap, I'm going to be really annoyed that I bought this. So as much as I have done, I am usually pretty unbiased, I would like to think. But I would say that by it being a lone tank, essentially, that I am even more unbiased and able to realistically go, would I buy this? Because honestly, that is a choice I actually make. I did this with the British Bulldog, which I can't... At this point in time, I don't know if I've bought it yet because I'm still debating, because I want to buy it, but I'm also aware of other things I would rather spend the gold on coming up. So, what do I have to say about this tank? Well, it's got 145 pen, which is the standard 88mm pen these days, after the buff, although the T-3488 hasn't got it. It's alright. That's an alright amount of pen. It does the job in tier 6s, struggles a bit in tier 7, really doesn't do the job in tier 8. But you go, okay, you got the premium ammunition, so it's heat rounds, that's probably pretty good, isn't it? No, it's awful. It's 200mm of pen, but I've bounced off God knows how many things that have got much less than 200mm, because the velocity is awful, the heat hates angled armor at the best of times, and so as a result it just doesn't do very much. I really don't like that as an ammunition. I would have much rather had the 202, 206, something like that, the APCR pen that the German 88s now get, which is much better. I was going to say far superior, and then I was going to say much better, and I couldn't decide which. Now, as you'll see, what I'm doing with this tank is I'm just poking around and at quite an angle. Now, you might wonder, why am I not trying to side scrape the corner? Why am I not, sort of edging out and just exposing the side of my tank or the side of my turret or something like that? The standard medium tactics, or even standard just tactics full stop. This is much closer to the Wargaming so-called diamond, which is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. But the thing is, this tank has atrocious armor. It's also very big. And so for you to actually be able to shoot at someone... Oh, right, watch this. So this is how long the aim time takes. So it's 2.07 seconds. This is with a gun laying drive and fence. That is how long it will actually take you to aim just from a minor movement. And it is longer still if you've been doing 50 kph. Now, the reason I brought that up is just bear that in mind, because it states at 2.3. And this is the other thing about that. Look at that. Snapshot at that range doesn't hit. This range hits it and just tracks. Anyhow, so yeah, point of the aim time, it's got a pretty crappy aim time. Point I was making to with the size of the thing, you can't just angle around a corner with this, because by the time you actually sort of are able to shoot them, because of how wide the tank is, they're going to put shots into you, and there's not a lot you can really do about that. And so you really have to kind of find the corner where you can poke like that, and what that allows you to do is to give the minimum amount of your tank exposed and at the most extreme of an angle. By doing that, you end up giving them your tank at they're shooting it at like say 170 or maybe even 160, 170 degree angle. I was gonna say maybe even 175, but it's probably not that much. Depending on where they're shooting you from. At that point, they can't shoot you back. Sorry, you can't shoot them back. So this is a very short video, by the way, but I'm just getting my point across because I think that's all that really needs to be done. And you can see, the aim time there, it's a real letdown. The accuracy is nothing special, the aim time is pretty meh, the pen's pretty meh. The mobility's okay, it gets to its top speed, doesn't particularly go much further, the traverse and the hull and the turret are a bit meh. And I honestly, I don't like this. I genuinely don't like this tank. I was quite excited to get it because I meant I'd have a crew trainer, because I'm very excited for Czech tanks. But then stuff like that happens. And yes, I was talking recently about the British Bulldog and how good the armour is, but it's not that good. Like, the rear of it doesn't bounce 145mm shells. It's just that this gun, because I've been doing 50 kph, the dispersion on it is so horrific. And that seals my death, because tracks. Now realistically here I should shot to the lower plate, because I was thinking about the other Churchill, where the weak spot is the turret. But, you know, oh well. So, you'll see I've ended up doing a really good amount of damage in this game, for this tank anyway. Now, I'm sure people will start putting out 4K damage games in this thing at some point, especially once you've got better crews. I know one of the 7F members who has 3-marked it and been probably putting out 4 or 5K damage games, but he's also been firing a lot of the heat rounds, which may suck, but they're still better than the AP. So, my opinion on this tank, don't get it. The only reason to get it is if you are desperate for a Czech crew chain, at which point I can kind of see it justified, but you still have to be pretty much you have to be a sadist to realistically want to put yourself through this. This is a really painful tank to play, because you can see that's quite a good game, yeah. Look at that matchmaking. There's a few tier 6s. I didn't have to fight most of them. Most of the things were tier 4 and tier 5. It's just not a good tank. It is a horrendous tank. And anyone I know who's been playing it has really not been enjoying playing it. They've really disliked it. So, I hope you can actually have understood a word I said, because if I hadn't inhaled a gallon of water, I would sound somewhere between a cross between I can't even talk properly. I would sound something like a cross between Kermit the Frog and Barry White's Love Child. Which I'm told is utterly hilarious, but doesn't feel it. Feels like I've been violated by the Sandman. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you appreciate my words of advice upon this thing, and I'll see you on the battlefield.